What is up? It has been a while for like the 50th time. We're now 5 seasons into Boom Beach Frontlines, and I've still been playing quite a bit, surprisingly. And today, I thought I would do a troop tier list. I've already done this before, way back when I only had 1 week of experience of this game in the December 2020 alpha playtest, which was a very long time ago. It's obviously super outdated. The reason why I'm doing it now is because Space Ape said that they're not going to be releasing any new cards for upcoming months, so it's a really good time to do it now before it goes outdated really quickly. Also, if you're new to the channel, my name is Justin. I am the founder of YCBTS, which is a very high-ranking team in Boom Beach Frontlines. And I have quite a lot of stats when it comes to this game. I'll show it on the screen right now. I've been around since day one. I'm super experienced and I have quite a lot to say when it comes to this game. And I think by April, I will probably be around 6,000 medals. That's my goal. But yeah, enough time wasted. I just want to talk about the troops in this game. I don't want to waste your guys' time. I don't want to waste my own time. One thing I want to say though, when it comes to card balancing in this game, Space Apes actually does a really good job. Like, most cards are super balanced, especially troops. So the first thing I'm going to do here is actually remove the D tier. I did this when I did my tier list in December 2020, and surprisingly, it still stands. I actually don't think there's a single D tier troop in this game. I think I'm just gonna go in order. So let's just start from the beginning. Assault. Off to a very strong start already. Assault is an excellent troop, and if you are new to this game and you want to specifically pick a troop that covers as many situations as possible, you just want to master a specific troop as fast as you can, Assault is, in my opinion, the best thing you can do. It's my absolute recommendation. Assault is my most played troop in the game, and I'm very proud of that. I think Assault is fantastic, super well-rounded, actually the most well-rounded troop in the game. Very good early game, very good mid-game, actually the best mid-game troop. I think this troop is just super versatile, can basically do everything: defense, controlling mid, getting kills, deploying power-ups, building defenses, like covering that area. You can do anything other than offense. But the thing is, like, defense is mandatory. It's a necessity. You have to defend. But you don't have to use Assault to go on offense. There's win condition troops for that, which I'll go over later. But yeah, Assault is just so good. And I think one of the best things about Assault is that he just has no specific flaws to him that you can just point out and be like, yeah, this is a really big factor that makes Assault not great. Like, no, there's none of that. Assault is fantastic. And also his matchups, his troop matchups are fantastic as well. Yeah, he destroys snipers, he destroys Zooka, Flamer, Firebomber, goes pretty well against Shotgunner too, destroys Cluster, beats, like, he basically doesn't have an easily losing matchup. But I will go over a troop that actually goes fairly well against Assault, which is right after this one. But yeah, let's put this guy in a spot. And I think this is very obvious for me. S tier. I think Assault is just great. Okay, heavy. So I played a lot of heavy in alpha. So I guess that begs the question, what are my thoughts? What are my true thoughts on heavy? I think heavy is still just okay. It's weird. Heavy is one of the least played troops in the game. That's without a doubt. And even though I know quite a bit about him, and I actually think he's pretty decent, there's still some very clear flaws about Heavy that is just undeniable. And even though there are some good things about him, no one plays him. Like, when he gets buffed, he's been buffed several times. He recently got buffed a while ago in the recent balance changes. And people were saying, like,
yeah, Heavy's really good now,
for like a week. And then after that week, no one's playing him anymore. I don't understand why. I've been playing a little bit of Heavy recently, but mostly still Assault. I just don't have the confidence to play him all the time. And I'll point out why. His speed is terrible, and his reload time is terrible. Those two things alone brutalize Heavy. Like, he's got great damage, he's got good range, he's got monstrous health, but the fact that he's so slow, he has no mobility, so he can't really go anywhere. You can't make quick decisions in mid-game because you're so slow. By the time you get to a place that you want to be to do something different, most likely you're in a different position and you're no longer doing what you initially wanted to do because you're so slow. It's not nice, it's not fun. He also gets super easily manipulated by so many troops because he's so slow. Like, you can easily exit his range and enter his range constantly if you want to kill him. Some troops will just outrange him to death. For some reason, he has a really terrible matchup against Firebomber, which doesn't make a lot of sense. However, one thing that a lot of people don't know, that I know is very good about Heavy, is that he has 2 winning matchups that are extremely rare among troops in this game. He beats Assault and he beats Shotgunner. I don't know why no one talks about this. There are no other troops that have a better matchup against Assault and Shotgunner than Heavy. But still, he has so many flaws that it's not something that you can change through balancing unless they just want to make Heavy faster, which is maybe an option, but yeah, there's just always better options. There's never really a time where Heavy is the most optimal play. I think that brings him down. B tier for me, he's still winnable. You can still win quite a bit with him. I recommend him in early game. That's the best time you should be playing Heavy. After that though, there are better options. Okay, Medic. I've always bounced between S tier and A tier for Medic. I think Medic is super underrated. Grandmasters don't really play Medic that much, and I'll explain why. So it's a 9v9 game, but you can only do 3 versus 3 in squads. Well, not 3 versus 3, but you can only have squads of 3, which is really unfortunate. Even though you only have 1/3 of the way of the team, you have to basically carry the entire thing. The rest of the team is bots. And usually support troops don't fulfill enough to do that after early game. And there are so many awkward situations with Medic where if you're healing a teammate who's defending and that teammate dies and you're alone on defense, it's just like you're completely zoned out. You have nothing to do. You either have to wait for your opponent to come back, not your opponent, your teammate to come back, or you have to switch into a trade position and try to even things out, even if it's not necessary. It sucks. That being said though, Medic, to me, is an excellent early game option. The healing is so useful for close range troops like Assault, Shotgunner, Warrior, Heavy. His munition gain is incredible. Best munition gain out of all troops in the game, without a doubt. He just makes fantastic pairings with certain troops, makes troops win matchups maybe they couldn't win without a Medic. So he's super helpful, super clutch. And I actually run Medic in my deck because if you find that, here's a good tip. If you find that you don't play 5 troops a game or you don't need 5 troops in a game, throw Medic in your deck. Because if you need to buy a vehicle in the late game and you're low on munitions, you need to get an extra 100 or so, switch to Medic, heal someone who's at spawn for a few seconds, and then you'll have enough. It's super helpful, and it doesn't hurt to have if you don't play all 5 troops. I wouldn't call them inherently flaws, but there are situations where he's very awkward in. But I do think that people need to play him more. And it's just an issue with the fact that squads are limited to 3 people. He's probably an S tier troop by concept because he's quite nearly flawless. But yeah, with the way the game is right now, I'm going to put him at an A tier, but it's like a super high A tier, like A++++++++++. Sniper. Oh man, Sniper. I love talking about Sniper because I've held on to this opinion for over a year. I still believe this to this very day, and I know I'm not the only person who believes this. Sniper is kind of overrated. What? Now, I'm still gonna put her in the A tier. I'm gonna put her below Medic. That might be a hot take among Grandmasters. She is still A tier. In fact, I think most troops, spoiler alert, most troops are A tier to S tier because the balancing is really good for troops. But you will see that Sniper is actually in my bottom 5. She is in my bottom 5. What? I think that people are overrating her because they're banking off of the fact that she farms people who are unaware, people who don't know how to manipulate her outranging abilities. You're basically only outranging bots. If you're playing someone who actually has a brain and has a real mind and are playing troops like Assault beats Sniper without a doubt. She can get easily manipulated. Her health is just awful. You're only going to be playing against real players in the future. And I think that Sniper is going to fall lower as time goes on. That's how I feel. I think with medics, because support is so rarely played nowadays, with medics and with boosters, so booster is just going to completely annihilate the outranging factor that Sniper. And medic, you're gonna take like no damage on your way to Sniper. If you're playing like Assault medic, destroy Sniper. Shotgunner medic, destroy Sniper. Anything with booster that runs and does damage, Still, her damage is great, her range is great, she has good speed. I'm not gonna ignore that stuff, okay? She's still A tier, she's still really good, and you can absolutely play her for a majority of the game, though don't play her all the time in late game. I know there's some people who they only play sniper forever and ever and ever, no other troop. That's not a good way to play the game, in my honest opinion. Okay, Zooka. Zooka is a great troop. Her range is great, her damage on armored units is fantastic, and paired with power-ups, she can be so threatening. So I'm gonna put her in the S tier, below Assault for me personally. She is a great win condition troop. I do run Zooka quite a bit, and her munition gain is pretty good too. Her munition gain when she attacks like armored stuff is pretty nice. Is there anything else I can say? I don't know, like her matchups don't matter. She's a win condition troop. Okay, Flamer. This troop is underrated. I'm still gonna put her in B tier. I do think she's actually above Heavy. Here's the thing. If you play Flamer, don't play Flamer by yourself. You need to get into a squad and either play with other people who are using one of two troops or both, either Booster or another Flamer. Let me explain. Flamer. Her damage, her DPS is very mediocre. It's not that great, but her splash damage is really nice. It's a very nice feature about her that not every troop has, that she has the privilege to take advantage of. But because her DPS is so low, oftentimes it doesn't really feel like you're doing anything at all. It doesn't feel like you're threatening the opponent at all. But if you stack more than one flamer, like if you have 2 or 3 flamers attacking a whole group of enemies, that's going to shred. The thing is, like, it's not too reliable after early game. Like once you're in mid game, flamer becomes so awkward. So here's what I suggest. If you play flamer, find someone who plays booster. Booster plus flamer is fantastic in early game, and that's why I'm putting her in the B tier, because I think booster and flamer does so much damage. It just shreds in early game. It's super underused, and I don't know why. I run it quite a bit when I'm pushing with some of my homies in YCTS. I think it's very good. So yeah, outside of that though, I don't think flamer is great. She just doesn't have that many areas that she covers that she's really good in, but early game she shreds. I'm just gonna specifically bank off of that, and that's the main reason why I'm putting her over heavy. I think there's less attributes to flamer that are good about her, but she is, in my opinion, one of the best options in early game when paired with the right things. A really great comp to run in your squads is flamer booster one lane, and then a DPS like assault, shotgun, or sniper to hold their own in the other lane. Is really good for speedrunning bots. Firebomber, again, use this as a win condition troop. Use this for defenses on the HQ only. I'm gonna put him in the A tier. I'm actually gonna put him below medic, above sniper. Ooh, firebomber above sniper. Man, it's getting hot. It's getting hot with these takes, but that's how I feel. The thing about firebomber here is that he has that lobbing mechanic, so he shoots over things, and he's the only win condition troop that does that. That's really all I gotta say. I mean, what else do I need to say? That's what makes him special, and I think in some cases the HQ is so hard to reach because there's just so many people on defense, so many defenses. Sometimes you don't want to deal with them, and the way to go around that is to either sail for a vehicle and just push right through it. Well, oftentimes firebomber is a great option, and I do run firebomber myself. Not as good as Zooka because against troops and vehicles he does like nothing. He's very bad against those. So he's super one-dimensional, but he is good at that one thing that he does. Okay, shotgunner. Shotgunner, I've been debating before I started recording this, where I would put shotgunner, because I have played her quite a bit. She's not one of my most played, like probably not top 5 most played for me. Maybe if she is, she's like low, like number 5, because I play so much assault that I don't need shotgunner. I'm gonna put I'm gonna put shotgunner. A tier or S tier? Oh, she is really good. She is really good. Okay, you know what? I'll put her at the top of A tier, above medic.
This might also be a hot take. I think a lot of people might
view this troop as S tier. She's excellent early game. She might be the best early game troop. Let me get that out of the way. Assault shreds, but when you're in early game and you have to go up close to the opponents to cap a base, to cap an HQ, you know, shotgun is going to be in her bag. She's at her absolute best. She shreds in early game. But I feel like after that, certain situations are hard for her because you have to get so close that you're putting yourself in riskier situations that are harder to get out of. And not to mention that after her 2 shots, she has to reload, where Assault has a better control over his reload. Her damage is outstandingly good, but you do have to put yourself into more of a risk to get that damage off. Against bots, just destroys bots so hard. But again, in the same way as Sniper, I think assaults who know what they're doing, who have at least decent movement at the minimum, can play around Shotgunner. Once you just bait the 2 shots out, you're gonna get good damage off of her. She's pretty fragile. Don't get me wrong, she's great, and I think most people would put her in S tier. Again, like Medic, A+++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++ but I did not remove the C tier. I know my friend Eric is watching this, my homie, my good friend, Eric, not Eric, goated YouTuber as well. He loves Cluster, and I've been thinking about this. If there has to be a C tier troop, in my honest opinion, I have to give it to Cluster. I think Cluster is the worst troop in Boom Beach Frontlines. And while that sounds awful, there is no troop that is total garbage, because there is no D tier. Cluster is usable, I guess. I don't know. The best time to use Cluster is early game. And even though I know they made these fixes in these recent balance changes, there were these fixes where it made like the lobbing better for stuff like Firebomber, Cluster, Missile Tank, you know, those kinds of things where it predicts the movement of units so that it hits shots easier. But for Cluster, that's super awkward because it's like not always accurate, so it feels like it's more inaccurate. I don't know. I don't play Cluster enough to comment too much on it, but it's more awkward. I don't know if it makes him better or worse. One thing I can say is that even though he can kill bots decently well in early game, why would you pick him over any other early game troop like Assault or Shotgunner or Booster Flamer? Why would you? What's the pros? What advantage does he have over those other options? I'm gonna tell you, none. And that's the best time to use Cluster. Mid game and late game, just don't even bother. On offense too, maybe he'll put in some work, but there are better options than that too. You can go Zooka, you can go Firebomber, you can go vehicles. But yeah, Cluster, he just doesn't have much about him that's worth using. That's it. That's all I can say about Cluster. Okay, Warrior. I'm gonna put Warrior in the A tier. Actually gonna put him at the bottom of A tier. Above Sniper, below Sniper. No, I'm gonna put him below. I think Warrior is not the most versatile, but he is the most brain dead troop in the game. I can tell you that for one. Triple Warrior, really strong comp. It's super silly. You don't have to think most of the time. You speedrun a lot of games if you're leveled up enough. He's very fun to play, but he gets wrecked by Shotgunner. Like Shotgunner is one of Shotgunner's best matchups is Warrior, because Warrior is a melee troop. You have to go even closer, and Shotgunner, well, you know how that's gonna end, right? He actually does really good damage on offense. I think he's what do you guys think about Warrior? Is he a win condition troop to you guys? I don't know. I think he kinda is, kinda isn't. He's like an all-rounder, but is better at some things than others. And against groups of players, like there's so many times where people just on Warrior, they charge at groups of players and they expect to get some huge damage in because they got that circular, you know, damage, and then you don't even hit them at all. You just die before you get there. It happens too much. And sometimes I often find that I waste power-ups trying to do that too. You have to be smart when you use Warrior, but at the same time, he's super brain dead. He's good, but good in the right hands. Definitely, I don't know. He's not ever the best option for something, but he is an interesting counter pick. That's what I'll say. And his matchups are kind of weird too. He's good early game, kind of weird mid game, kind of weird late game. If you just ever feel like charging at the HQ with some power-ups, like a boom bundle, he's very good with battle boost, by the way. And on shield, you can throw a shield onto the HQ, and you can shield yourself from defenses while you're healing up, hitting the HQ. There are definitely some strats with Warrior that are pretty good, but again, I think that he's not the best, and he's more of a counter pick than anything else. But Triple Warrior, pretty underrated. Okay, 2 troops left, the HQ9 troops. Booster is the best troop in the game. I don't think every Grandmaster agrees. Some people think Booster is underpowered. I don't know why. So before I hit HQ9, I was HQ8 at like 5150 medal, somewhere around there, about a month ago. And I was struggling, man. And then by the time I hit HQ9 and got the beach pass, because I hadn't bought beach passes in previous seasons, once I hit HQ9 and I got Booster, man, Man, pushing just became so easy. I was struggling to hit 5200 for so long, and now in a few weeks, like I'm 5700, and booster is one of my most played troops now since I hit HQ9. Like I think it's assault and booster are my two most played troops other than win conditions since I've hit HQ9. She's so good, makes certain troops so much stronger. Flamer being exhibit A. She just makes close range troops so much more satisfying and easy to approach with. Her boosts are great. The only downfall of booster is her munition gain. Sucks. It's so bad. For people who don't have booster, let me tell you right now, her munition gain is like almost non-existent. It's like you're literally not even doing anything. It's like the natural gain without killing anybody. That's what it feels like. It's so much worse than medics, but still, she's the best troop in the game because the boost is just so good. And unlike medic, if you're boosting someone on defense and you're the only person on defense, instead of being in an awkward position, you get to boost defenses. And boosting defenses is pretty darn good. And don't even get me started on boosting bomblets from the bomb shack. Man, you guys gotta do it. If you have booster, play booster in bomb shack games and it will change your life. Amazing troop. I don't know if she's overpowered, but she is the best troop. And she's only gonna get better as squads increase and people find more ways to use her. Oh yeah, and you can use her on anything, like vehicles, like anything, power-ups. Best troop in the game. Let me see who disagrees with me, because if there's a troop that I would consider S+ here, the only one would be booster. Okay, and last but not least, guys, we have Jetpack. Jetpack to me is very good. I would actually put him, I think he's interchangeable with Zooka as a really great win condition. So I'm gonna put him here. These are basically like, I am doing this in order, so like booster would be high S and these two would be like low S. So as for my top 3 best troops in the game, it could be like this or it could be like this. It doesn't change for me. But with the fact that you have to carry most of the weight for your team and Jetpack has so much mobility, you can just do whatever you want with Jetpack, really. And his damage is not terrible. His accuracy sucks. Terrible accuracy. But he's super fast, paired great with Boom Bundle and Super Airstrike on offense. Really, if you just keep cycling offense with Jetpack, it's so easy to do, and you basically always guarantee some damage every time you go in. You know, he can only go in certain areas of the map, and just dropping off power-ups and stuff with this guy, like, he's just good. The only thing that he is worse than Zooka with, like he does less damage, his range is not as great. But the biggest issue, or not issue, but the biggest flaw is he can't get inside of the 4x4 or APC. And I think that even though right now, I think Jetpack is just a very slight bit above Zooka, so like this would probably be the top 3. In the future, it's probably gonna look like this, because Zooka in 4x4 is just excellent, incredible. You already know the term, or maybe you don't, but if you know the term Blitzkrieg, you know what I'm talking about. Zooka in 4x4 is an absolute game changer, one of the best strategies, offensive strategies that you can use, and Jetpack cannot do that. And it's just so annoying when people keep cycling Jetpack in a 4x4 game. Like, come on, get some teamwork in there. But still, yeah, like Jetpack is great, so fast, great at dropping off power-ups, just solid, reliable offense, and I'd probably put him in the top 3. Okay, so that is it. That is all the troops, as you can see. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments if you made it this far. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? What are your top 3 troops? Because I'm really curious. I think a lot of people have different perspectives, surprisingly. There's not a clear answer for what the best troop is, or even the top 3. I'll see if I want to do more videos on this, on tier lists in the future for like power-ups, vehicles, defenses. I'll see if I have time. I really want to, because I don't think anyone has done them yet. And I want to hop on that immediately. Get some information out there for you guys, you know, teach you some good tricks. Hopefully you learned something new from this video, by the way, because, you know, I know the strats. All right, that's enough for me. I'm out of here. See you guys in either a few days, a few weeks, or a few months, because that's just how I am with uploading. All right, take care. See you later.